My name is Kimberly. I live at 1014 East 169th Street, Cleveland, Ohio. And I have been through the ringer. Excuse me, I'm nervous. Okay, take it out. Last summer, I began struggling with my mortgage payment. For years, I have been struggling due to serious health problems. And I have help from my family to maintain my current mortgage. By last summer, my sister who moved in with me in order to help out with my expenses was planning to move, and there was no way I was able to maintain. Excuse me. My income is limited to $1,500 a month. I receive from Ohio Public Employee Retirement Service. Because I suffered from sarcoidosis, that's a lung disease, asthma, sleep apnea, I am unable to work, and my medical expenses are considerable. I was in trouble. In January 2009, in January 2009, I began to try to work directly with Lincoln Loan Services. That went nowhere fast. After 4 months and dozens of phone conversations with countless individuals, they offered to reduce my unaffordable $900 a month payment to $850. Thanks for nothing. My sister heard that Congressman Fudge was bringing a group called NECA to Cleveland to save people like me from losing their home. I checked with my councilman, Mike Polinsky, who said that NECA was the real deal. Since I was unaware of any local organizations that could help me, I was excited to attend their July event at Worcester Center. What a big mistake that was. At the event, I was told by NECA and Linton people that they knew they could help, but I would have to wait 36 to 72 hours before I would get an offer of modification. After 2 weeks, I called since I hadn't heard anything. NECA told me they still didn't know what the deal was yet, and I should be patient. Meantime, I continued to get evening calls from Linton. It refused to deal directly with NECA. From the very beginning, communication with NECA was a nightmare. On average, I spent about 2 hours on hold waiting to call them, and in order to speak to them, I had to call. In the 6 months that I was with them, I believe they called me once. On top of the difficult reaching them, they never had any useful to share with me. When I would express frustration, they would get indignant. All the while that I was working with NECA, I continued to get calls, usually in the evening, from Linton. They never seemed to care that I was being represented by NECA. Finally, after 3 months, I found out I qualified for temporary modification. I had to call NECA in order to find this out. I was promised that if I had the payments for 3 months and my income remained steady, that I would be locked in to a permanent modification. I made my payments like clockwork, and my income did not change, but no permanent modification ever came. After another 5 months of confusing conversation, with NACA, I was told to either magically come up with more income or plan to lose my home. Neither option was doable. I called Councilman Polinsky again to express my disappointment, and it was then that he suggested I call an organization in Cleveland called ESOP. On February 23rd, 2010, I'll never forget that day, I walked into the office and have been grateful ever since. Today, I am the proud owner of a permanent modification which took my $900 per month payment to $539. I finally have peace of mind, and I know that I will be able to keep my home for the long haul. The decision to express was pretty simple, but enormously important. ESOP staff communicated with me. I was able to reach my advocate on the phone easily. First he, then she, either had the information or was hoping for or was able to find out and provide to me promptly. I had only one person to work with. I didn't have to be Say it again.
Pastor?
Yes, I'm sorry. Pestered or confused by calls from them. I didn't have to speak to multiple people at ESOP like I had to do with NACA. It was simple that it was the system that finally made sense. I had a place to go. I could physically drop off paperwork. I could meet face to face with the counselors to discuss things. I can understand that the organization truly cares about me and my neighborhood. They truly had vested interest in helping me save my home. ESOP had a relationship with Lyndon that made a difference in how well they were able to help me. I can understand that my virtue of ESOP works organization against lenders. They had to develop a system that really worked. My outcome was evident to that. Thank you for the opportunity to share my experience with you. Hopefully, by making this experience public, others will spare the grief I endured. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Sorry, I was nervous.
Never do it again. You were fine. You did great tonight. I appreciate that because it's rough coming in front of a bunch of people you don't know the whole story. It is. So I appreciate you coming in today and testifying. Any questions?
Let me ask you. Thank you for your testimony. I'm glad to see that has worked out for you. Do you know, through the process of counseling with ESOP, do you know what it is they did to your home in order to reduce it from $900 to $539?
All I know is that they called me and asked me, they got my interest rate down to 2%. And would that be, the 533, would that be affordable for me? I told them, yes, I could work with $539 a month. And that's including my taxes and insurance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.